This edition of MacVoices could have been sponsored by you. MacVoices is always looking for sponsors who appreciate our high-signal, low-noise approach to tech topics with an Apple focus. Our sponsorship packages feature inclusion in all of the audio and video versions of MacVoices at all of their distribution points, a web presence, inclusion in the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter, and more. Get the details by contacting me at chuck@macvoices.com or contact Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. I'm at the AltConference and WWDC in San Francisco. We're right now at Jillian's in the Alt Labs area. This is the man, Rob Elkin, who is the organizer, producer, brains behind AltConference. It's great to see you in person, like face to face. We only get to do this once a year.
Yeah. I guess the ocean separates us for much of the year, but yeah, it's good to get together with everybody whenever everyone's in San Francisco. That's kind of why we do Alt. So.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time. We're now. This is Wednesday. We're middle of the week. AltConference has been a roaring success by any measure. In fact, the only thing that maybe you could have used is just more space because it's been so popular.
Yeah, it's been pretty fantastic. I think we got it just about right this year again, so we didn't have to turn anyone away on Monday, which was fantastic. Yeah, it's been pretty much packed the entire week. But we're not turning people away. We still have, bits and pieces of space here and there. So everyone seems to be getting what they want and what they need. So we're pretty happy with how it's going so far.
Well, I've been hanging out here talking to a lot of developers, and so I haven't had a chance to go and listen to some of the conference sessions. But
yeah, me either.
Yeah. But people are coming back and just raving about the quality of the presentations and the fact that while some of them are coding oriented, that's really more of what WWDC at proper is for. Here it's a bit more about community.
Yeah, and that's really important because we're putting something on for multiple types of people, and it's not just for someone who writes code. I guess a lot of the audience are writing code or involved in businesses that do that, but there's so much more to being an indie developer or being in this industry in general than just writing code. So you got to know about all the other aspects of it, and so that's what we're doing. We're not just providing a space for people to come along to at San Francisco. We're providing an event. We're providing fantastic speakers that people can learn from. So it's not just you come along and you can sit around and do work like you would do at home. You get to learn something, you get to meet new people, and it's all part of the package.
And I have to say, last night was the AltConference Beard Bash with Jim, featuring Jim Dalrymple, yeah. And that too, that worked out so well, and it was packed. Again, with all the socialization options that are here, people chose to come there and have a great time. Yeah,
it's been really fantastic. Everything that we've done has been really well received, and so I guess I'm starting to make a joke now that we're a startup without any funding. We just need to turn the money tap on now. But everything is pretty well received.
That was a hint, folks, in case you missed it. That was a hint.
No, it's not a hint at all. No, you're going to start rumors, Chuck? You're going to start rumors?
No, but you know what? You and I had this part of this conversation the first time we talked. At the end of the day, you have to pay for some of this stuff. No matter how great the community is, Jillian still requires they be paid. The Children's Discovery Museum did not come free.
Yeah.
So you got to raise the funds from somehow, and somewhere, somehow, whether it's the attendees, whether it's sponsors, a combination, or wherever.
Yeah, we've been really lucky this year. We've had a bunch of really fantastic sponsors who have helped us out. So what happens next year, probably along the same lines, but we're paying for everything by sponsors. It allows us to keep it free for people, and I think that's a really important part of it as well. I'm toying around with different bits and pieces that I could do to make it more financially stable, but it's really not a thing that makes money. It's just a thing that we do just for the fun, just because it's worth it.
So somewhere in there I thought I heard next year. So is this going to become, you think, a regular thing, or at least will it go on next year?
This is our third year running, so it's pretty regular right now. Give me to the end of the week and then maybe a couple of months to decompress before I can actually commit to anything. But I think at this point, whether it's me or the rest of the team that take it on, then it's absolutely something that's going to be continuing. It's something that I want to see continuing to go. I'm deliberately not thinking. Well, I am thinking about it and not thinking about it at the same time. But I'm not publicly talking about my plans for next year. But if you talk to me in private, then I will probably have told you already my thoughts about next year and what we're going to do. Basically, bigger and better. That's what we're aiming for. That's what's been, these 3 years running. We're doubling. We're going to do the same next year.
You mentioned the volunteers, and I want to make sure that folks really appreciate the job the volunteers have done here. It's not like it's a particularly rowdy crowd by any means, but the volunteers they provide answers. They can tell you where to go, what to get, how to do what needs to be done here to get the most out of the experience.
Yeah. So whenever I first sat down, for everybody that was at home, Chuck said to me, "It doesn't look like you've been hit by a bus just yet," and so that is really a testament to the volunteers that we have and the people that run it, because I do a certain amount of work in the 3 months running up to it to get everything prepared, but in reality I don't actually have to do that much this week, and that's really a testament to the people that we have running the thing, the guys that are organising the speakers and the volunteers, and everything that happens just happens because people donate their time and energy for it, and that's really fantastic. It definitely makes my life a lot easier as well. So yeah.
Now, in case it wasn't obvious in this conversation, this is not your day job by any means.
No, it is not.
This is something you do for fun, because that's one of your pieces of contribution to the community.
Yeah.
And and you do it from London. You organize a conference in San Francisco with volunteers from London.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not easy.
It's not, but I have some experience in doing remote things. So I worked remote for a long time, and a lot of the people that I work with right now in my day job are remote. So I have experience with that. But yeah, it's not particularly easy. The time zone is definitely a challenge. It's very nice to be in the right time zone right now, where I can talk to people and not worry about whether they're awake or not. Basically, everybody that I talk to about this conference is already in this city, so that's a really, really nice change for me. But yeah, it's challenging, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's not just. I'm in London. There's one other guy in London, but there's a bunch of volunteers like across Europe and the US and Australia and stuff like that. So yeah.
Rob, as part of being the organizer, the very nature of that is that you're going to roam around, you're going to talk to a lot of people. What trends are coming out of this? And forget the keynote announcements, because we all know those. But just in talking to people, what kind of trends do you see in the developer community that are emerging?
I see a lot of trends of people asking me how Alt is going, and that's pretty much it. That's all I end up talking about this week, just how it's going and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if I'm very well placed to answer that particular question. I think a lot of people are talking about the different companies that have been Sherlocked by what Apple has done this week, and so that's pretty interesting to try and figure out. I've had a couple of conversations with people, how is this company going to react to what's just happened and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people trying to figure out, what Reveal are going to do next, or what some of the crash reporting guys are going to do next and stuff like that. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much the only insight that I have. It's not too great. To be honest, I've just been floating around talking to as many people as possible to make sure that everything's going well. And so that's pretty much my job for this week.
I felt like, in looking at the conference track, that you were setting some of the trends automatically. One of the things, Mike Lee was here for a little while. We caught him between obligations. Yeah. The idea of safety and security here for everybody. It's a shame we have to have that kind of conversation, but you do. Yeah. And the fact that you all just met it head on, addressed it, even had a talk about it, is top notch.
Yeah, it's really, really important, and it's something that is on the minds of a number of people, given things that have happened in the industry in the past couple of years, and it's an important thing for us to get right. And so we're taking a little bit of a different tack than some other conferences have done, but we think it's the way to go, and something that we're trying, and we're going to be accountable for it at the end of the day. We're trying to have a very hands-off, not a huge amount of rules, or you can't do this or that. It's more about providing a safe environment so that if something bad does happen, God forbid, then we're well positioned to deal with it, but we're not being overbearing or anything like that. So we're trying to strike a balance, and I guess that's one of the kind of big themes that we've had at this conference, is how do we kind of figure out this diversity, and how do we kind of push the industry forward in that way, in kind of a positive way that isn't kind of being negative about what's going on, but rather just, okay, yes, there are some problems in the industry, we need to improve diversity. How can we do that in a positive way? How can we get people as involved as possible, and give them the environment to succeed, basically? And that's basically all I want to do, is I want to give people the environment to succeed and the opportunity to do that, and then after that, I mean, it's all everyone else. So that's all I'm building, is an environment for people.
And the diversity, the one diversity we have automatically here, and it's really intriguing to me, is the political and geographic diversity. We have people here that have come from Europe with no WWDC ticket, just to attend AltConf and be in the community. And I've made that point several times here this week. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
It's that important to them, but it speaks to the strength of the community.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I mean, I've talked to a number of people who are just over for Alt, which is amazing, and that's exactly what I set out to do. That's exactly what I wanted, and so I've also talked to people who just happened to be sitting on the plane next to someone who was coming over without a ticket. That's brilliant. I actually talked to one person who sitting beside someone on the plane. He was coming over without a ticket and didn't even know about Alt. It's kind of like, well, yeah, this is brilliant. This is exactly what we want. People want to come to the city and want to be involved in this community. So yeah,
I can only see it getting bigger and better next year automatically.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. I've already had sponsors want to sign up for next year. I've already got speakers who want to come next year, volunteers who want to do it. So fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I guess that answers your previous question about what's happening next year a little bit.
Well, I think you've made a couple slips here, but I wasn't going to call them out.
Yeah, it's a subtle implication that it'll be happening.
So, toward that end, and seriously now, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they're interested? The website, obviously, is AltConference.com.
AltConf.com. AltConf. The best thing to do is just email me, just rob@altconf.com. Just email me and let's have a chat. I mean, it's, I'm happy to talk to anybody about it anytime, even if it's just, I'm really interested in working with you guys, but, we're going to leave it for 2 months or 3 months or whatever till I can, get some time away from it. But, that would be fantastic if people email me and we can chat and whatnot. So, yeah.
Well, if you're interested in helping this community, help drive it, help build it, you need to talk to Rob, because they put on a fantastic event right alongside Apple's, and they complement each other. They don't compete. And I think that's about the highest compliment I can pay for you, and just how smoothly it's all run.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's been brilliant. Have you got a T-shirt yet?
I did get a T-shirt.
You didn't? You did get a T-shirt? Okay. I'm disappointed you're not wearing it on all of your recordings now, Chuck.
Well, I got to do my own branding, so people know. But don't worry, it'll get plenty of wear.
I'm just winding up.
I know. Rob, congratulations. It's a huge success, and we will be back here next year if you're back here. How's that?
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like a deal.
All right. See you next year. Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices in San Francisco at the AltConference. We will be back with more. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date on all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at MacVoices.com/newsletter. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at BackbeatMedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at CashFly.com.